Hi, my name is Marcia Metzger, Director for Choose Now, a Georgia nonprofit organization that provides answers for parents and schools regarding sex education and controversial mental health curriculum. So, this is the last of four, and I want to just share with you really quick about a couple of the curricula that I also reviewed. One was hard copy, The Wonder Years for fourth and fifth grade, and then also the health book for the Edgenuity virtual school. So let's look at this. This is first the health book. A few things I want to point out. Look at the conflicting messages. You have barrier methods. I mean, what does prevent mean? Prevent means prevent. So when you say that some barrier methods prevent STDs, and then you come over here and say that same method has an 18% failure rate for pregnancy, and you call it safe sex, I would say that this is false information and that they need to go back to school. This is not right, and I just can't even believe that they would try to get away with teaching this in this fashion. The next page, let's talk about woke. Let's talk about conditioning people to talk about gender identity and orientation, sexual orientation. First off, this is pretty much identity here, but the patch is a skin patch that's worn on the lower abdomen, buttocks, outer arm, or upper body of a person who can get pregnant. A person who can get pregnant, not a woman, a person who can get pregnant. So this SOGI method is such that if you can bring up the subject of either body parts, or you bring up the subject of this, any way that you can get the conversation going in the class and stimulate that conversation, they love to put things like this in curriculum to start those conversations. So it's kind of like too in Georgia, the health curriculum, the health standards that have just come down from the state in second grade. There is a standard that says to teach all of the second graders all of their body parts. And when I say all, I mean all, including genitalia. This can open up the door for a teacher. It depends on who the teacher is. If the teacher is more of a radical or a woke kind of educator, they could open up the subject to say, well, this is a person with a vagina, or this is a person with a penis, or this is a person who can get pregnant. That opens the whole door to teaching sexual identity. So that's something to be aware of, parents, because normalizing this kind of verbiage is just not anything that I would think that the average parent would be down for. So, which statements best describe your romantic attraction toward others? What business does a school even have asking that question? And then let's talk about the influence of the teacher. If you choose to be abstinent, that's great. If you choose to have sex and or birth control, well, that's also great. As long as you're being safe, respectful, and above all, consensual, you're good. Either way, you are a human being, and as such, you're always deserving of rights, dignity, and respect. And never let anybody tell you or make you think or feel otherwise. When you see the word rights in sex education curriculum, they are talking about sexual rights, and that students have the right to have sex, even though legally they can't consent, even though their parents may not be down for it and approving of it. And even this entire conversation should have never happened on this video. I will tell you that. Who is this man to insert himself against the parental guidance that these parents have? They have rights to raise their children in their home. This is unconscionable. Normalizing homosexuality. This happens in a lot of comprehensive sex education. Marcus and Alex have been going out for a long time and have decided to remain abstinent. Many times in curriculum, I mean, today, if a child is homosexual, they need to know information. I get it. But to make this constant and to show pictures like this is normalizing this to the students. And it brings in a social contagion as well. When we introduce these things to our students, it's like we're teaching it to them as far as they're concerned. So parents, you can make up your mind on that. There's many people that would say that what I'm saying is homophobic, and it's not. It's not. Everyone makes these judgments or calls for themselves. and how they want to raise their children. And everyone certainly has a right to do so. So parents, you make the decision because it's yours to make, because this is a non-academic curriculum and you do not have to approve this for your child. We can reject this as a community too. So there's more homosexual examples. So there's numerous ones within it. Now, this is Puberty, the Wonder Years, and this is Wendy Sellers, her page. She is the author of the curriculum used in the Tift County schools. I looked at the curriculum and it was in books. It was in little booklets. And I found a couple of things that I really wasn't comfortable with, basically about touch. And a touch that you don't want or whatever. So it kind of led a child to believe that there might be a touch that they do want. So it's things of that nature that I didn't like, but it wasn't just really in your face trying to take kids down the road of comprehensive sex ed fully. It would probably be classified as comp sex ed light. But this Facebook page, this tells you the caliber of the person that is writing that information. So she does have videos that I noticed that you would go to in her curriculum. So with keeping that in mind, if she's got these videos on there, I did not have access to her videos at the time, and I have not requested them, but I would, as a parent, I would definitely look at them before I would allow my child to sit through one of these classes. Here's another one that she taught. Now, this is just complete unreal. This is false. All genders can have uteruses. No. And then this is someone's child here. This is somebody's child. And we're talking about the transgender topic here. And then she's like, as states introduce legislation rooted in fear, bias, and misinformation, transgender individuals face a difficult future. I'm going to tell you something. Putting a child this age on puberty blockers and telling them, oh, it's just going to pause your puberty until you can make up your mind which sex you want to be. That's misinformation. Actually, it is downright deceptive and dangerous. These drugs impact their fertility. And we have several of these kids coming back around saying, why didn't somebody stop me? And they want to detransition. And once you have removed your sex organs, or you have removed your breasts and all of that, and you want to detransition, I imagine that is something that is very, very difficult. So these children, many of them have, they have something inside of them that makes them feel like they need to transform into something else. And I think as caring adults, we can come alongside of them and build them up and help them understand that they are beautiful the way they are, and we can lead them in a much more positive path than allowing them to drug themselves and allowing them to mutilate their bodies. This is just unbelievable. So Wendy Sellers, the author of this curriculum, she is a woke teacher with an agenda. And parents, my advice to you, if you want my consultation, it would be to reject this material. Let's talk about the libraries. Now, folks, I'm just going to say this. This goes for the public libraries as well. EBSCO is this company that has pretty much, I don't know if it's a monopoly, but it seems like it is to me. But EBSCO is this company. It's in Birmingham, Alabama, believe it or not. And they integrate this huge library of books online for download in major universities, all the way down to elementary schools and public libraries. So when you consider that they can filter out obscene materials for elementary schools, but they won't for middle and high school, because there's a law called the obscenity exemption. Now, you can Google this information, just put in obscenity exemption laws, and you can put it for Georgia and see where that takes you and just learn about it, because I could barely wrap my head around the fact that I can go into the library and get the password, and I can find information about torture porn, kink. I can find anything about LGBTQ that I want. I can even find out how transgenders do their surgery. I can find out all kind of different romantic novels that have graphic information in them. Books like this one, 19 Minutes. Here's one that's found in the libraries in Tift County. There's also other ones, The Handmaid's Tale graphic novel. There's so many, I can't even tell you all of them. So parents, you need to find out what your children are reading, and you probably even need to look into the books on their reading list and their literature classes, because these can also have obscene information in them as well. But here, let's look at these companies, the Chromebook and the EBSCO company, that is the library interface. Both of them were listed on the Dirty Dozen for the National Center of Sexual Exploitation, if that tells you anything. These two companies are not protecting students, but they are getting millions of tax-paying dollars across this nation for their services to our children. And this needs to be stopped. We are working on legislation, and we will continue working on legislation to get this changed. So what is the problem? What's the problem that's going on all throughout this? The problem is oversight. And when you define oversight, it is the unintentional failure to notice or do something, or oversight can be the action of overseeing things. We need to convert ourselves and transform ourselves from the first definition into the second definition. All of us need to become gatekeepers on behalf of children in these things, because the question then is whose oversight, and it's our oversight. On our watch, this happened in our schools. This happened affecting our children. This has happened, and it's happening right now. And it's all of our faults. It's not just the administrators or the school board's fault. It's not. It's everyone's fault. We have been consumers of education for our children, and it is time that we get in those books with them and find out what they're learning to see if it's safe for them. How did this happen? Well, the subject is a landmine for school administrations, and it's a gold mine for progressives. I most likely will have people lashing out about some of the things that I've said on the discoveries that I've shared with you over these 4 videos, and that's okay. I know there are people out there that disagree with the way that I see things. I think that if we all come to the table, we can all agree that there are so many beliefs in this country that everyone comes to the table with different beliefs, and we're going to have this conundrum and this conflict that's just going to go on forever unless we decide that in the public school system we have neutral concepts as far as ideology is concerned. Philosophy and ideologies do not belong in primary or secondary schools at all. Save that for college, when children are grown and their brains have formed. But while they are in primary and secondary school settings, there is no place for ideology. And that's why we just simply say we want zero tolerance for ideology and zero tolerance for obscene materials in our school system. And if it means you have to turn the library access to EBSCO off, I think that there are plenty of parents here that would be glad to figure out another route for us to take to supply library books for our children. We do not have to have them inundated with this kind of information, or we can have them checked out a different way or something. But honestly, I don't even want to award money to this library if they don't want to fix this. This is unbelievable. There are already 18 states, I believe, that have fought this in their law systems and have a zero tolerance. And I do not understand why Georgia will not comply and go along with them. Call your congressman, call your senator, call them and let them know your heart on this. So identity fear is the main thing that people are concerned. You can also call it cancel culture. So if there's anybody that I'm willing to be attacked over, it's over children. I'll stand up for them and be attacked every day. I will stand up for them no matter what, because I am an advocate for children. I have served children my entire life, and I cannot stand to see what is happening to them with all of this controversy. We have got to stand up, because getting involved with your school board people, this is not political. A lot of people just really are turned off by politics, and I get it. But you can be a person to make a difference. This is undeniable gatekeeping. The control is local when it comes to your schools. Do not allow the progressives to take a hold of our schools any longer. We have to stand. So I'm sure by the time I'm finished here that you feel like you have PTSD. And in a way, I apologize, but in a way, I'm glad that maybe some of you now are woke as far as being awakened to what's going on, because we definitely need to work together to get this back in line. So I have this little acronym PTSD for a reason. I have some solutions for us to try. They may work, they may not work, but we're going to try them. So first off, we have petitions that will be available on this Facebook page that you can download and get as many people to sign them as you can. And then if you'd like to email it to me, you can certainly contact me through my webpage or my Facebook page, and I will be glad to give you the information to get that to me. Actually, you can email it to me at Marcia@choose-now. .org. So we have petitions, and then we also have a toolkit, and some attorneys have worked with us to provide some oversight on some toolkit information. These are letters that says, I do not consent for my child to take any of these kinds of classes. And you can go through them and see if you would like to try that in your school. It's something you can try as a solution. Then there's the seal of confidence. I'm going to briefly describe that to you in just a second. And it just shows that at the very beginning, the very first video I did, it talked about the seal of confidence, where if the school met a certain amount of guidelines, that we would be able to award that to ensure the public that they're teaching wholesome sex education. So then too, at the end, we will deliver it, and we will start delivering our messages monthly to these school board meetings until this changes. We have work to do. We have to get this taken care of. We can't let up. Once we get this going, we can't let up until it's done. And we can be very respectful. We can care about our administrators. I feel bad for them. This will probably create a lot more work for them, but we have got to protect our children from these things. So next, this is the toolkit. You'll see this on the Facebook page. All you have to do is go to this particular little arrow here. You can download it. You can also go to the Facebook page for Protect Student Health Georgia. I am a member of this community, and we are out to protect children all throughout Georgia. So the seal of confidence, this is basically how it works, and you've already experienced it just by seeing my presentation. We start with the administrators, open record request, and we start educating. I educate them, I educate community leaders. Truth starts coming to the surface so people can see. And like right now, the truth has come forward in your mind, and you are probably thinking, oh my word, I had no idea this is how things were working in the schools. Well, you know, instead of just going to a school board meeting and yelling about something, or even having the most eloquent speech that goes viral on YouTube, hey, if you've got solutions to try, I think this works much better. And we start getting the community together, working together, and we start communicating with our school boards. We start getting volunteers to come and take their place at the school board meetings. We have outreach that's going on. We're reaching out to parents and friends, and we're getting them informed on what's been taking place. We form alliances to bring this community working together. Our school boards become informed about what we want. They understand that we know the law now, and that they answer to us, not the administration. The administration understands their place on the wheel as well. And we have respect for all, but we have to take back our education system to protect our children, plain and simple. So then if there's legislation needed, which there desperately is legislation needed for this social and emotional learning curriculum, we need to get that taken care of, as well as the library situation. We begin advocating We advocate on behalf of parents, on behalf of students, on behalf of teachers even. We have teachers that reach out to us that are afraid to say things to their administrators for fear that they will be dismissed or disqualified in some way. They just don't want to, they don't want to stir the waters. So they're scared. So I have them coming to us as well. So advocacy is a great thing. And then, but accountability, it's good for everyone to have accountability. I need accountability. Everyone needs accountability. So anyway, gatekeeping starts happening because parents are informed and parents are educated and they know what to look for in the homes. And then the students are, then it finally comes back around to the students where they're able to experience peaceful equity. If we're going to talk about equity, let's have equitable peace for all, and let's keep ideology out of our schools. So being winsome to winsome, guys, we can go in and scream and lose control, but that doesn't do any good. I mean, you know, you might be able to run some people out of town, but does that really build community? And I mean, if there's someone that is on your board or in an administrative position that is, we found out that they are huge supporters of this stuff, you know, it might be that they're not right for Tift County. You'll have to make that decision. But when you reach out to your superintendent and the state superintendent, many of you know him, with a voice of support and just say, are you fully aware of what it means to what's going on with social and emotional learning? You need to watch these videos. Hey, I'll admit them to this page and let them look at it. So as long as they're, or you can share this video with them. I imagine you could share it outside of the group. So anyway, with wisdom though, wisdom is what we need. We can become their support and speak into their lives as they lead, but they need to know that we're watching and that we care, because I'll be honest with you, there are many student meetings, parent-student meetings that that parents don't even come to, and they do all this work and it's disappointing. So we need to make sure that we are attentive and that we're supporting our students, our faculty, and our staff. So contact your local and state superintendents, ask them to turn off social and emotional learning and EBSCO. Let them know we want zero tolerance for ideology and obscene materials in Tift County. Let them know you've seen this presentation and that you are not down for this kind of thing for your child and you want it turned off, and that you're making decisions on what you're going to do for your child's future. They have got to understand they need to listen to the parents, because parents are not going to put up with data collection and obscene materials in the schools. Call State Superintendent Richard Woods, let him know your thoughts, fax him a letter at that number. Call Adam Hathaway and let him know kindly that you have seen the video and you want this changed. So there's a lot to do, but I don't think that this is, I mean, I think with everyone in the community standing together, this is really doable. So here's another list of things you can do. You can volunteer with Choose Now to help review school curriculum, because not only sex education needs to be reviewed, that we have problems with revisionist history, revisionist, several subjects. I have seen some information in Georgia even about math. I've also seen, have you ever heard of human geography? My goodness, it has all of this coupled in with the culture section of a geography class. So join the Facebook page or the Facebook group. It's actually a group. Request to join, and one of us will get you approved in there, and start downloading these forms. Go talk to your principal. Go and look through the libraries. Look through and see if there's books that are inappropriate, and put them through the process. They have a process where a committee will look at them, and yeah, they might call you a book burner, but I would rather be called a book burner than a pervert, because some of these books are perverted for a 5th grade level. I can't believe one of them I've just found in an elementary school. So guys, they're out there. We just need to know. And also attend your school board meetings. If you can't go every single month, find people to rotate with, find a group, educate them yourself, show them this Facebook page, invite them over to dinner, talk it out, and decide you as a group, you're going to go, one of you from the group every month, you know, go, whoever can go in your group. This is a great way to help manage the state or the county, and become a gatekeeper in your community. And remember, local control, it's all about it. So then let's finalize this. Yes, Choose Now is a 501c3 and we do accept donations, choose-now.org. I'm beginning to hire a staff and I am looking for people to join this group through volunteering or applying. We are definitely traveling to several school districts, and we are also in the process of doing some trademark and copyright information on some of our materials to help teach parents and students in each area. So this will be a good thing for you to be involved with. I mean, it's great to stand up for kids, but we are definitely looking for corporate sponsors and donors because this is a very important work. I mean, you can tell that we've done our homework from the very beginning video. There's probably things in here you had no idea about. So please support our work at choose-now.org. There is a donate button. And then this is our final slide. I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to come into your home and to explain to you what's going on, and also to just make a plea to your heart to join our efforts to advocate on behalf of children, because gatekeeping looks good on you. Follow me at Facebook, follow me on YouTube, Choose Now. Follow me also on our website, choose-now.org, and be sure to sign up for that Facebook page. That would be Choose Now-Tift County. Y'all have a great night. Thanks again. My name's Marcia Metzger for Choose Now.